Welcome to our short stories. Sit back and enjoy a brief tale crafted just for you, filled with rich vocabulary and elegant phrasing. BYE, Episode 14, The Master Craftsman and the Sleeping Dragon. Hello, and welcome back to BYE, Boost Your English. Today, we delve into a narrative where integrity and greed clash in the misty heart of the Welsh mountains. Our focus today is on rich, descriptive vocabulary and learning to articulate profound concepts like heritage, moral conviction, and the essence of true craftsmanship. This story will test your vocabulary for nature, conflict, and redemption. Let us begin with the Master Craftsman and the Sleeping Dragon. Once upon a time, nestled in the misty heart of the Welsh mountains, there lived an old craftsman named Peter. He was the last of a long line of artisans who did not simply build violins and cellos. To them, each instrument was a soul captured in wood, a melody waiting to be set free. These instruments echoed with the joys and sorrows of their past owners, and their magic was so profound that they could heal deep suffering and even avert tragedies. The fame of these unique, enchanting pieces had spread far beyond the nearby villages. His workshop, a peaceful refuge by a clear, singing river, was more than just a place of work. It was a sanctuary where time seemed to stand still. Rumors, carried on the wind through the pines and brooks, said the ancient secret of these instruments lay in the wood of trees that had grown under the protection of a dragon. This dragon, far from being a monster, had been sleeping for centuries beneath the highest mountain in the region. It was the guardian and the nurturing father of the entire forest. Its benevolent presence imbued the wood with an ancient magic, and every note played on these instruments carried the powerful echo of nature itself. One day, two shadows, far too sharp for the forest's peaceful quiet, crossed the threshold of Peter's workshop. Their grey suits, with cuts far too expensive, and their sparkling leather shoes soiled the moss of the path. They were the Caldwell brothers, soulless timber merchants whose sole deity was profit. They intended to raze the forest to build a characterless ski resort, subjecting nature to mere entertainment. Having heard of the craftsman's legendary wood, they wanted to seize it, caring nothing for its heritage or the sanctity of the natural world. "We want your wood, old man. Sell it to us or we'll take it by force," one of them sneered, his honeyed voice a barely veiled threat. Peter refused, of course, his voice, usually calm and gentle, trembling with anger. He told them that the wood was alive, that it carried the soul of the forest, and that to tear it from the earth would be a sacrilege. The Caldwell brothers, incapable of understanding such devotion, broke into a dry, metallic laughter, a dissonant sound in the forest stillness. Before they fled, they lit a fire, a petty act of revenge that soon engulfed the workshop and everything in it. The unfinished instruments, the tools polished by generations of hands, and his family's precious wood, all reduced to ashes. The old craftsman collapsed onto a tree stump, his heart in pieces, the pain of the loss more vivid than the heat of the flames. As he sobbed, a tiny green spark appeared in the air, a minuscule light that danced before his eyes. It was a firefly, which landed gently on his hand. Others joined it, and then more, forming a glittering trail that led him deep into the forest, to a place where no one dared venture. They guided him to a massive, ancient oak, its trunk as wide as the facade of his destroyed workshop. At the foot of the tree was a single pool of water, which reflected the starry sky. The fireflies dived into the water, and it began to bubble and crackle like embers. The liquid turned golden, like magical sap. It was the sap from the heart of the sleeping dragon, which the fireflies, its eyes and messengers, had awakened. Peter, with the intuition of a man who had lived in harmony with nature, knew what to do. He plunged his hands into the golden water, which instantly healed his burns, not only those on his skin but those on his heart as well. Then, he turned to the old oak. The wood began to glow, revealing golden veins that ran beneath the bark. He carved a new violin in the night, his hands moving with a speed and precision he had never known. When he laid down the final chisel, the violin began to shine, emitting a melody so divine that it surpassed anything he had ever heard before. The vibrations of the melody woke all the trees in the forest. Their roots, deep and ancient, began to tremble. A powerful roar shook the ground and dispelled the mist. The Welsh dragon awoke from its slumber and released an immense cloud of green mist that enveloped the forest, protecting it from the outside world. The Caldwell brothers, who were preparing to level the forest the next morning, could never find it. They got lost in the fog, their bulldozers sinking forever into a land that rejected them. As for their money, it turned to coal, condemning them to toil relentlessly for the rest of their days just to earn a living. Peter continued to live in the forest. He found serenity again and carved wonderful instruments. Young musicians came from all over the world to meet him and have the honor of playing his creations. The forest, protected by the dragon, thrived and became a sanctuary of peace. The craftsman lived out the rest of his days happy, in perfect harmony with the nature that had inspired him so much. What a rich tale of justice served and balance restored. We encountered powerful verbs like to sneer and to avert, and descriptive terms like benevolent presence and dissonant sound. Remember, the Caldwell brothers' pursuit of mere profit led to their downfall, while Peter's integrity earned him his ultimate reward. Key vocabulary and expressions explained. Artisan, a worker in a skilled trade, especially one that involves making things by hand. For example, the local market features beautiful leather goods crafted by a traditional artisan. To avert, to prevent an unpleasant or dangerous situation from happening. For example, talks are taking place in the boardroom to avert a potential strike by the technical staff. Sanctuary, a place of safety, refuge, or holy protection where one can find peace. For example, after a stressful day at the London office, his garden provided a quiet sanctuary. Benevolent, well-meaning, kindly, and serving a charitable or helpful purpose. For example, the charity was founded thanks to a benevolent donation from a local stakeholder. To imbue, to inspire, saturate, or permeate a feeling, quality, or atmosphere throughout something. For example, the primary school teacher managed to imbue her students with a lifelong love of reading. To raze, to completely destroy a building, town, or forest, leaving nothing standing. For example, the old municipal warehouse was razed to the ground to make way for the new motorway lanes. To sneer, to smile, laugh, or speak in a mocking, contemptuous, or disrespectful manner. For example, he chose to sneer at our business plan instead of offering any constructive feedback. Veiled, not openly or directly expressed, disguised or hidden under a subtle cover. For example, her polite email contained a thinly veiled warning about missing the project deadline. Sacrilege, an act of treating something holy, highly respected, or traditional with great disrespect. For example, to many traditional musicians, altering the structure of a classic violin is a complete sacrilege. Dissonant, lacking harmony, clashing, or combining in an unpleasant or harsh acoustic way. For example, the amateur band produced a rather dissonant sound during their open microphone night rehearsal. To engulf, to powerfully sweep over, cover, or completely swallow something up or surround it entirely. For example, the sudden thick fog managed to engulf the coastal road within minutes. To toil, to work extremely hard, continuously, and with a great deal of physical effort. For example, the agricultural laborers had to toil in the fields from sunrise until dusk. Thank you for tuning in to BYE, Boost Your English. In the next episode, we will switch gears to a formal, yet sensitive topic, sick leave and medical formalities. We'll master the vocabulary needed to navigate any health-related professional conversation with confidence. The comments are now open on YouTube, so please feel free to share your reactions, ideas, and requests in the spirit of mutual respect. Keep boosting your English. Bye for now.
Boost your English!